Today, I'm going to show you how to use MagicSchool to transform a document that you have in text form to a presentation slide deck, something that's presentable to students in a format that can be taught or for a student to learn from independently. Using your MagicSchool account, we're looking for a program called Presentation Generator. It's going to generate a slide deck of your own design. I like keeping it at the ninth grade level, makes it accessible for everyone. The number of slides you have access to is 5, 10, 15, 20, but it will create more or less as needed. So generally, I choose 15. If it ends up being 13 or 17, it's fine. You get to create your own prompt, but first, let's pull a PDF file from something on your device. I like using this as a sample. In the research instruction, there's a document interviewing a person as a research source. As a PDF, it's a couple pages of information. And for students, it may be complex to read as a document. So I'm going to use MagicSchool to create it as a slide deck instead. Especially for multilingual learners, within the prompt, I'm going to ask it to create the slides in English and Mandarin. So using the attached PDF file, create a slide deck of research tips in both languages. So I have a student who speaks Mandarin Chinese at home and is an English learner here at school. And it's as simple as that. I could clarify further if I wanted more information, but that's it. Use this PDF and give me a slide deck with both languages available. There is a box for additional criteria. There are two things that I like asking. One is to limit the amount of text on each slide so that it's more readable, digestible, easy for students to grasp and follow because they're going to be moving from one language to the other and back again. And the second thing I like asking is a suggestion of illustrations or graphics that can be included later. MagicSchool isn't going to give you a finished and polished product. It's really just going to be a transfer of text from the document to a slide deck, transforming the media. I'm going to dress it up later. Generate gets that process going. You can watch it happen in MagicSchool. I imagine this is the magic part of it. Haha. But in this prompt editor, I asked it for 15 slides from my PDF of how to use an interview as a research source. And as it's populating, you can identify that it is creating a multilingual or bilingual for this individual student presentation of this information. Slide 4, for example, research before you interview. It's taking the English from the document and pairing it with Mandarin and providing a suggestion of what that illustration or graphic could look like. You could also use AI to generate that graphic when it comes time. Um, if it doesn't currently exist and you're shopping and shopping and shopping for an image that's just right, you could just create it or have students create that graphic because that would be an interesting formative way of gauging their understanding of the concept on that slide itself. Well, that was very quick. We have 15 slides here. You can see that it's giving me a breakdown across 15 slides of what that looks like. There are other suggestions that it's giving me, but I really at this point want to export. Let's take a look. Okay. Subheadings in bold, English, and Mandarin. My information from the document, which I know because I wrote it, and the Mandarin. And there you go, a sample thank you letter with key parts labeled as a suggested illustration. I can go back and do that at another time. Among the tools, I'm really now looking to export it, and there are other options. I don't know why you'd go to Google Docs if it was already a PDF. I want slides. Here's a preview of what it's going to transfer. Of those 15 slide decks, just text. You can preview it here and export. So that spinning magic circle is telling you it's now going to move from one media to another. And think about the application of this in some of the challenging units that students may encounter. Let's say a science class is particularly challenging because of the academic vocabulary. a PDF scan of that particular chapter could be transformed into an accessible slide deck in both languages for students to grasp the concepts of what's going on in science. Okay, when I hit open slides, again, it's going to be a bare bones look at first, and there's going to be some cleaning up involved. It's just text down and back, not very colorful. The font is kind of simple. Some of the formatting might need to change. That's better. Research interview skills, a bilingual guide in English and Mandarin. Some of the other considerations you might make as you're looking at the text on the page, maybe it's a little bit cluttered, so you're just making some design decisions of spreading that out a little bit. If those 4 bullet points are a little bit too condensed, you can play with some of the spacing and get that spread out. And maybe 4 bullet points is too much for one slide. There's not a whole lot of room for graphics. So it's real easy to duplicate a slide. And then on the first one, take the first 2 bullet points, delete 3 and 4. And on the second slide, delete 1 and 2. So you have the same information, it's just been spread out across 2 slides instead of 1, which leaves a lot more room for the graphics or illustrations that you would want to pair with that. And you would go back to the original template to identify what some of those suggestions are. For slide 4, student at computer researching with notes beside them. If that graphic doesn't exist, you can ask AI to create it. Or again, ask students to create it to measure their understanding of the concepts, research, before your interview. That's the process. Pulling a PDF that was all heavy text in one presentation and transforming it through MagicSchool Presentation Generator into a slide deck that is accessible for students, can be viewed over and over again, corresponding visuals to help them understand the concepts in that particular unit. That's MagicSchool, and I hope that's helpful for you.